Welcome to iShowcase Music. I have a very special guest here today, my good buddy Eric Scott from Maryland. We've been friends a long time, and I can't wait for you to hear about his music, hear some of his examples of his music, what his story is all about. One of the most prolific songwriters I know. So, Eric, welcome, man.
Hey, Scott, thanks for having me, man.
Dude, it's been a long time. We go back over 20, 25 years.
Oh my God, I thought it was longer than that. But yeah,
No, dang, you might be right. It might be over like 30.
yeah, I'm thinking 90s, man. We go back from the 90s. Yeah, long time.
Long time. We're aging ourselves.
For real.
Nothing to be ashamed of, man. It's only made us that much more perfect. No, I'm joking. Experts in our craft, I guess. But we were laughing. My son had called me right before this, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm getting ready to jump on a podcast with Eric Scott." He was like, "Dad, man, why does that sound familiar?" Matt's 22 now,
Oh my
and I
God.
was like, and all I said to him was, "The Thanksgiving song." He was like,
Right,
"Eric." Dude,
right,
that
right.
song's becoming a classic now.
Thanksgiving is the time of year that brings us joy and removes all fear. Thank those around you for all they've done and look forward to great things to come. Oh,
I love it. I always love that tune, man. And I always post it every Thanksgiving. It's a nice trip down memory lane when I give it a listen. It's a beautiful tune.
A lot of military people took to that song. Thank you. We did it together, man. You guys and your friends in Baltimore, they crushed it. I mean, the way we recorded that was pretty wild. I mean, from Orlando to Southern Maryland to Baltimore, Maryland, back down to Orlando, and it really turned out pretty phenomenal. Yeah, so every Thanksgiving I look forward to it, and that's his favorite song. He sings it all the time. It's
Oh,
hysterical.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I hope to meet him someday.
You did when he was. Oh, dang! Oh no, I was already down here.
I
You
don't know.
haven't met Nat,
I have never met your son. No,
bro. You need to come down and just spend a weekend, be
I would love
creative,
to.
and hang.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. I got the home studio, and I just there's something to say about going into a big studio, and there's something to say about having a home studio. I still like rolling out of the studio at 4 a.m. into bed, and without having to drive 20 minutes or 30 minutes to get there. So I mean that's kind of cool. So I've always kept a home studio, even from when I lived in Maryland. But so let's get to your music, man. I mean, first of all, your songwriting accolades are pretty amazing. What's is it a I'm gonna sound stupid here, but what is it, a whammy or whammoo? The Washington D.C. songwriting thing you've won so many times. Tell us about that.
Oh, that's called a whammy. It's the
Oh, that's right.
Washington, yeah, whammy, Washington Area Music Association. It's the Washington version of a Grammy. And it's been around for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. It recently changed ownership, sponsorship. Oh, put that out the way there. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to win 18 of them.
Did you really?
Yeah, if you win 20 of them, they retire you and to the point where you can't win anymore.
Yeah, you get.
But
Dang.
it's been cool. It's been cool. It's nice to be recognized by your peers up here in the DMV.
What was the first song you won? I'm gonna guess. Let me guess.
Oh
Power of a
God.
Woman.
No, I don't think that song ever won. And I don't know.
Really?
No, I was never really recognized for anything off the Divine Static record. It was always later than that.
That
But
was a great album.
thank you. Thank you.
No, you and Ronnie killed it, and with Tyranny's help, and the whole Midnight Special crew back then. I got the funniest story for you, and I know. I don't know if we've talked about this. I'm going to go squirrel on you a little bit, so just hang in there with me because I want to get back to the whammoo and whammy and all that craziness. But do you remember back in the day after we used to play the Decoy Lounge, which is now demolished, I'm told? Do you
True.
remember going back to Ronnie's house and then we would just have jam sessions and just all hang out, party some more, whatever? We were young, acting stupid.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
absolutely.
being there. You remember that?
Yeah.
So I remember being there one night, and these two guys with tattoos were just in the corner, jamming away. And then you guys were just killing it because y'all were, the stars of Brandywine or Clinton at the time. And, the decoy was fine, but these two kids are just, they're yearning to be heard, as I like to say. Did you have any idea that that was Good Charlotte?
Man, I occasionally tell that story as
You
well.
know,
That was Benji and Joel. They were like, I think they were like 15 at that time.
if
And
that.
somebody had brought them there. I didn't even know them. Somebody had brought them there and they were just like, yeah, man, let these little teenagers get up and play a couple songs. And we were like, sure, let them get on up. And they got up and played a couple tunes. And we're like, wow, they have a lot of potential.
Potential.
They have a lot of potential. And they actually gave me a little cassette, which had some of their original music on it. And I still have that cassette around here somewhere. And I thought, when times were tight, man, I should put this cassette up on eBay or something like that. But I would never do that. But I saw them over the years because they started playing in Annapolis pretty regularly. And they
Oh,
formed.
really?
Oh, yeah. They
I
started
didn't know.
playing and they were out doing the clubs when they were 17, 18 years old, and they started creating a little buzz for themselves. And I just watched their trajectory, man. I would talk to them every once in a while, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just went up to New York and we talked to CBS and blah blah blah." And now they're Benji and Joel.
They were great,
Yeah,
man. I mean, Benji, he's the host of Ink Master, which is a show I
yeah,
watch quite
yeah,
frequently. He does a great job. I mean, he took David Navarro's place.
yeah. I used to
He's
watch
just
when Dave posted it.
yeah, he's fun. He's fun to watch, man. He's come a long way. They've handled the fame nicely compared to some who have not.
Yeah.
Too many to mention, I would think, right? But yeah, good guys, man. But that story always cracked me up. It always
I
made me
I
laugh.
don't know how much time we have, but I have a good Charlotte story too. Can I tell it real quickly?
Yeah, yeah.
We used to play. I used to play at a place called a place in La Plata. Oh my gosh, called Casey Jones Pub. Played
I
there for
remember Casey Jones.
Casey
Yeah.
Jones Pub. One night we were done, and I was out back of Casey Jones, and I was loading my car up. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and I see these two figures in the dark come running up the street, and I squint my eyes and I look, and I'm like, hey, it's Benji and Joel, like running. They're jogging. 1:30 in the morning. And I'm like, Benji, Joel, hey man, what's up? And they're like, hey, Eric, what's going on? And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we're out here running, man. We're trying to get in shape. We got to get in shape. And I said, wow. And when those kids walked away from me, I said to myself, when every other kid is like sitting home on Xbox or something like that, those kids are out here at 1:30 in the morning jogging to get in shape because they're that focused. And I
Love
knew
it.
right then, I said, them kids are special, man. They're going to do something with themselves. And the rest is history, as they say.
It's funny you said that. That's a great story, Eric. Thanks for
That
sharing
is a
this.
good story.
It's
I
it's
must
the
say
eye of
so.
the tiger. I
Yeah.
mean, you and I've been at it a long time, and I always say the only way you really fail is if you quit, right?
Right.
And some of these mentees I take on, whether it's through the Grammys or in Nashville, I mean, a lot of wonderful artists up and coming in Nashville and here in Orlando. There's so much talent, and you just know, man. Do they have the eye of the tiger? Do they have that focus? Do they have that will to never be kicked down? I can't tell you how many times I've been kicked in the gut, and I'm sure you have too, and all of us have. And it's just like whatever. You can't you can't do anything to me that's already been done, right?
Yeah.
But it's almost an Olympic style training is what it's boiled down to for possibly nothing. Up at 1:30 in the morning jogging, running at 5 a.m. in the morning, getting up, how Michael Phelps would do his swimming regimen is the same thing you need to do as a recording artist, I think, because they say, oh, it's oversaturated. You can never have a hit song. God is good, man. You can't you can't talk down to a miracle. You never know what what the Lord has in store for you. Not to get all religious, whatever. I'm just saying, you just don't. You don't know. You can climb mountains, man. the whole David and Goliath. But
Truth.
and even with the technology and how it's, I remember how you and I used to have to run and go to disc makers and get 1,000 CDs printed and cost a fortune and this and that. How many albums do you have by now?
Oh gosh. How many have I released? 6. I've released 6 officially. I believe
Wow.
6. Yeah, 6.
No, man, be proud of that. I know you used to play the Bayou
And
a
a few
lot.
singles.
I
And a
came and
few
saw you out there for, I think, one of your record release parties, or just maybe it was just a gig. I don't know. But I remember you were playing at the Bayou, and it was nostalgic because that's where Foreigner was discovered when it first opened. A lot of people don't know that. Bayou's down in Georgetown in
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. And I was so proud of you, man. I'm looking at all the stage. I mean, because like I said, we've been buddies a long time, and I support any way I can. And I'm like, as you've supported me, and I'm like, Eric, man, you're on the stage at the Bayou. I mean, that's pretty surreal. Just like,
Yeah.
good. I'm sorry.
That was pretty special. I mean, that was a special club. Everybody you can think of. I mean, Bruce Springsteen, Steve Vai, everybody played at the Bayou back in the day, man. And
It was on the circuit. Yeah.
yep. Those were a lot of up and coming artists, cut their teeth in that club.
What's like that, very similar to that, much smaller, is the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My friend Amy Curlin started that, I think, in 1987, 1988. And she and I have been friends for a very long time. And, I went there a couple weeks ago and just songwriters night, everybody. And Nashville's a different beast. Tierney, a mutual friend of ours and artist, she played there one time years ago called for Chick Singers Night. But there's another place. I mean, you're talking Bluebird, you're talking Garth Brooks, Taylor, everybody came out of there. But there's another place called Fox and Lock. And oh my good, Leaper's Fork. It's an area over near in between Franklin and Nashville. Bro, we got to get you singing there. It was the most unbelievable 300 people completely knee to knee in this place with about 50 people in line with their mandolins, violins, guitars wanting to go up on stage just to be heard for Songwriters Night.
Wow.
We're going to use the word yearning again. Yearning to be heard. The interesting part of it is the fact that everybody was just quiet and listening. Now, I don't know how the DMV is anymore as far as I think the gigs you play, Annapolis especially, I would think, parts of Virginia, I'm sure they're respectful and quiet and enjoy. They love you, man. Between your following up in Baltimore and DC, it's might be something we have to work on or talk about.
I'd love to come down there. I was making the rounds in Nashville back in the 90s when country was just blowing up, man. George Strait, John Michael Montgomery, Garth. It was huge. And we would take little trips down there to try to peddle songs. And we managed to get a little publishing deal. We got close, but unfortunately, none of our music ever got cut. But I'll never forget one of the guys telling me, Ken Biddy, Decca Records, he told me, Eric, if you want to write country music, you got to know what country music's all about. And it was kind of a crystallizing comment to me because I was writing country because country was very popular. But that wasn't really, where I was coming from musically. But now I know Nashville is much more open, to really any genre. Every genre is coming out of Nashville now. So, I would love the opportunity to come down there and play sometime. And, on a much smaller scale, we have singer-songwriter showcases up here, but they're never before 300 people. We have much smaller crowds for that. But yeah, man, it's still a very viable thing to do for upcoming songwriters. It really is.
I was telling my friend Shelly, who was on the first podcast, there's an attitude about Nashville. You don't go there like you're trying to conquer the town. You go there very appreciative to be able to work there, to be able to gig there, do your music, meet people. They're all about respect. And I tell you, you're absolutely right. It's not. They call it the new Nashville because it's not just country music anymore.
Yeah.
Even though Hank Williams Jr.'s bar is my favorite bar, their band is smoking. But these cats down there are playing for tips, and some of them get noticed, or you're Garth Brooks drummer and you're just off the road and you're just going to jam because you want to keep your chops up while you're off the
Right.
road. You know,
Yeah.
it's really interesting. Then you get into Franklin, where the farm world and where Kid Rock, where Bob lives, and all the farmland, and where Carrie Underwood lives in. The other place I was telling you about, Leaper's Fork, and then it's a whole nother mechanism with that as well. But I got to tell you, as far as feeding your soul as a songwriter and a vocalist and a performer, it's somewhere that would definitely appreciate you for sure. Hands down,
Well,
Nashville would appreciate you. So we need to give that another.
let's set that up.
Let's do it.
Let's set it up. All right.
Let's do it. I'm going to work on, and I can't make any promises, but I'm really trying to work on an iShowcase music at the Bluebird.
Oh, wow.
And if I could pull that off, that would be pretty amazing.
Good luck.
I don't know. I just made a couple calls and we're getting it started. But let's talk about this new music. First of all, let's jump on and talk about this live album you did.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the live album. I've never released a live record before. So, I had a band and we had played together long enough. And I figured, it's time. It's time for us to capture what we do on tape live. So I set up a show and publicized it as a taping, of a live show that I was going to release as a live CD. It was back in 2019. And there's a little bit of a backstory to it. I set it all up, got somebody to come out and record it, publicized it heavily. The show sold out. 3 weeks before the show, I'm like talking to my guys, hey, let's get together for a rehearsal, and they're like, I'm trying to match up dates with everybody. Nobody can match up a date. Finally, it's like 4 days before the show. And I realize we are not going to be able to get together and rehearse. I've set up for a live CD recording and we're not going to be able to rehearse. So it occurred to me at that point, I really considered just scrapping it, doing the show, but just scrapping the recording part of it. But I went ahead with it and we went ahead and did the show. And when the show was done, I thought maybe it wasn't that great, because I was just focused on the fact that we didn't rehearse it and everything that didn't go right. I was focused on it. Long story short, a week, I just refused to listen to it. But a week after that, the tracks were sent to Scott Smith, my mixing engineer, and he called me up. And he said, Eric, have you heard this? I'm like, no, I won't listen to it. He goes, you got to hear this, man. It sounds really, really good. I'm like, what? And he sent it to me. He sent some like mock mixes to me. And I was like really surprised, like everybody played their ass off. So I went ahead and said, all right, well, we'll get it pressed up. Right after that, COVID. So for 3 years, I just didn't even listen to that record. And people would ask me from time to time, hey, man, whatever happened to that live record? I'm like, well, maybe I'll put it out one day. And then after 3 years, seriously, like in 2024, I went back and listened to it because Scott had mixed it and everything. And I said, man, I need to release this, I really do. So I went ahead and I'm actually putting the finishing touches on it right now to release it on vinyl and just a short run of CDs. And fittingly enough, the record is called Eric Scott Band Live Unrehearsed.
I saw that post and I started cracking up laughing. I had no idea that was 2019, bro. I had no idea. I thought this was like you did Ram's Head or something a couple weeks ago and just went live with it. But what a great story. Scott Smith, Scott and Jen, that's his wife, right? They're the ones that were on Thanksgiving song to bring it full circle.
They did Thanksgiving
He helped me mix it.
Right.
Yeah, man, that guy's really talented.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
We need to give him a shout out for sure. Yeah, that's a great story, dude. I cannot wait to hear it.
A funny backstory. Yeah. So it's 5 years old, that recording, but it still sounds fresh. And if it finds its way to somebody who has never heard us before, it'll sound fresh to them. Hopefully. So yeah, I'm just putting the finishing touches. I'm going to do a release on vinyl, which I've never done a vinyl LP, so I'm excited about it, man. Limited edition. Yeah. Very short run. Once they're gone, they're gone. So hopefully people will, buy them all.
Well, I want a signed copy, man. Tell me how much I owe you.
I'll send you one, bro.
Nah, I'll Venmo you, man. Working musicians, people you ain't doing all this for free.
Yeah, but it's a cool record, man. We really, really stretch our legs on it, man. There's some fantastic playing performances on there from the band, so.
Well, what that tells me is this: the psychology behind that. Everybody was under the gun. They knew they didn't rehearse, and
Yes.
that's when you're dealing with the utmost professional musicians to where, you know, a lot of artists think they don't have to rehearse. Man, Celine Dion, up until her highest heyday, was still taking vocal lessons. You cannot be,
Oh yeah.
and that's what I love about you, bro. You've always been so humble, and appreciative to be able to make a living doing music, and I thank you for that. You know, there's lessons to be learned there. But everybody, you know, really stepped up that night to make it as good as it is.
Yes.
And they were like, I'm not going to be the one to drop. It's like a football team. And I also compare you. You're going to laugh now. I'm going to compare you to Tom Cruise
Oh my.
because. Dude, now, where am I going with this? Right? You're
Where are
like,
you going
Scott,
with this?
what the hell are you talking about? Dude, he had Top Gun. He had Top Gun Maverick in the can 2018.
And Val
It
Kilmer
was already filmed.
May he rest in peace. I just didn't mean to interrupt. Val Kilmer just passed away. But anyway, I love
Wow,
Top
man.
Gun. I love Val. I know, right?
Boy, Val.
He was one of my favorites. But anyway,
Yeah, but he was smart, you know, and patience they always say is the virtue, right? But he was smart by waiting until after COVID. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I'm not releasing it. And when he did, wow, 3-4 year buildup. You know, one of the best. I mean, nobody ever thought he was going to beat the 1983 one, right? And what did he do? He crushed it with today's technology.
that was a good one. It was.
Great.
I enjoyed Maverick. I watched it, and it was better than I thought it would be. It was really good.
And they're filming the newest one now. I'm like, man, y'all might as well just ring that out and go for it. But my whole point with your album is that was just a God's blessing right there, dude. I mean, the fact that Scott listened to it, had talked you into listening to it, and you know the mix and the master and everything's just going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to hear it. So is it a whole night, or is it? Did y'all just pick songs from the album and made an actual like 10, 12 song album from it?
Great question. We recorded the whole night. Glenn Workman recorded it. Fantastic audio engineer and also a great keyboardist for Crack the Sky, giving him a little plug.
Yeah.
But once we listened to everything, we just narrowed it down and we picked 11 songs, you know, that we thought made sense, that were, you know, not necessarily the best performances, but the ones that we thought made sense together. With a complete body of work. And so that's the only reason why I'm doing a CD release, even though nobody buys CDs anymore. It's because I want to give people the opportunity to hear the entire record. Because on the CD, all 11 songs are going to be on there. But on the LP, you can only fit 46 minutes of music, you know. I have 57 minutes of music. So I'm going to just put 8 songs on the vinyl release. And, you know, it's a classic live record in that it's not perfect. And if you listen to if you listen close enough, you will hear the imperfections, but you will also hear 4 dudes just having fun, man, and having the time of their life and just playing loose. Even though we knew we were recording, we were just having fun with it, man. And I think you can really hear it.
No auto-tune, no AI, no
Man.
quantizing. I mean, dude, there's something to say for that.